What's up, everybody? Modern Guru here, Sunday night, doing a little update video on Litecoin and ABRA. So, what happened 2 days ago? Charlie Lee's unexpected surprise. Oh, by the way, I am not a Chicago Cubs fan. I am 100% a White Sox fan. But some of the girls at my old restaurant that before I got transferred to the new restaurant made this for me for a gag gift. And as you can see, it says filthy up here. And they know I'm a White Sox fan, but they did this as basically a gag gift. And so I'm going to wear it, support them in this video, or at least acknowledge the fact that they did this for me. And I am wearing it. I just don't wear it outside of the house. It's nice and comfortable. It's a pretty soft hat. I like it. I just wish it was a White Sox hat instead of a Cubs hat. But anyways, let's get back to the video here. So we're going to talk about Litecoin tonight. And what is ABRA? What was this unexpected surprise that Charlie Lee had talked about months ago? ABRA is a platform that just came out 2 days ago. It's in its initial phase. Just to let you know right off the bat, and I did a bunch of reading, I did a bunch of research, and I created an account, and I've used it, and it's at first glance, when I first found out about this, as this was the surprise he was talking about, I was like, kind of like, what the fuck is ABRA? I had no idea what it was. This was not what I was expecting. I had preconceived notions, or at least expectations, or that it was going to be something like, oh, like a huge corporation was accepting it for payments or something, right? That wasn't the case. So, I was a little disappointed when I first found out what it was. I was just like, well, what the hell is this? But I was like, all right, whatever, we'll check it out. Did my research on it, downloaded the app, started playing around on the site. So it's pretty cool, guys. Now that I've had the time to look at it, you basically have a decentralized platform that allows you to move only Bitcoin in and out. And you can use 50 different fiat currencies. You can buy 20 different cryptos on the platform. You can only use Bitcoin to move in and out, though. And all the transactions on this platform, that ABRA decided to use Litecoin to fund all of them. So Litecoin is going to be pooled on this exchange to be used for all transactions. That is fucking enormous for Litecoin if this website is used. Or excuse me, not website. If this platform is being used by people and it catches on, it's going to be enormous for Litecoin, because when they pool it, they have to have so much Litecoin in the exchange that's going to be soaked up off the market, and that just causes the price to go higher for the coins. So there's less in circulation. It just depends. What we need to watch for is just like the popularity of this thing. Is it bugged? So far, no. What are the drawbacks to this? Oh, one of the other great things about ABRA is the fees are so much cheaper than Coinbase. I mean, it's ridiculously cheaper than Coinbase. And it's great. It's great for brand recognition for Litecoin again. And it's using the Lightning Network. So, the big the big corporations are watching. Believe me, they're watching to see how all of this goes down. They're watching every aspect of this. And I think that could be huge. The credit card companies are terrified of something like this because eventually, Visa and MasterCard, they charge a great deal of money for every transaction that when you walk into a place of business that accepts them, they charge that place of business a pretty large fee on every transaction. It's like 2-3%, 3.5%. American Express is the worst. That's why you get all those wonderful bonuses to using the card, and why a lot of merchants won't even accept it anymore, or scoff at having people that use it, because they charge insurmountable fees monthly and then per transaction, whereas something like LitePay is only going to do 1% of every transaction. If you're talking about a corporation that does a great deal amount of business, Walmart's, you know, like huge McDonald's, like things of that nature that do a lot of transactions everywhere. You're talking about millions of dollars, millions that come off the books from using credit card companies. And there's nothing the credit card companies can do. They can't match the technology. They won't be able to match the fees. They're centralized credit card processors and credit card companies are going to be phased out just by prices alone, because the cryptos are going to be faster, they're going to be more secure, and they're going to be way cheaper to use. So they're watching things like ABRA to see how the Lightning Network works, because if the Lightning Network is adopted eventually, you're talking about complete destruction of credit cards, which for me is kind of like going to heaven, dying and going to heaven. I hate those sons of bitches, something fierce. So, but anyways, that's another cool thing. So let's talk about some of the drawbacks. So the drawbacks of ABRA, you can only move BTC in and out. So it's not like you can, you know, buy your Litecoin on Coinbase, or you have it, so let's say you have your Litecoin stored on Coinbase. You can't move the Litecoin onto the app. You have to sell your Litecoin on Coinbase, turn it into BTC, and then move your BTC onto ABRA. Why? Because when they initially started designing it, that's the way they designed it. Now I guess that they've talked about how they're going to alleviate just that later on, but right now when they went live, that's what they're doing. So that could be a drawback for some. A bigger concern that I had, that's not really a big concern for me at all, really, to be honest, but a bigger drawback that I had concern over was the security issue. So once you buy, basically you're buying any of those 20 cryptos, but it's being funded by Litecoin. So you're not actually, you're buying the other cryptos and you're getting the value of whatever they're at, but you're not actually physically holding the tokens on that site. You know, that, like, you can't move. So like, let's say I bought Ethereum on ABRA with my Bitcoin that I just moved in. So like, I can't take my Ethereum then once I buy it on the exchange and move it to my Nano S, because you're buying the valuation of what Ethereum is at that point in time, as opposed to being able to physically own the coins, take them off the exchange and put it in your Nano S. They've talked, you know, I sent in a question to the devs, or excuse me, the support system on ABRA, and I got a response back in like 2 or 3 hours, whatever. It wasn't super long, but they're going to be working on that in the future. But for right now, this is the design, and this is the way it's going to be for the foreseeable. So is that an issue? It could be. That's, like I said, it's the biggest drawback for me, because you don't physically own the tokens that you're buying. You only have the Litecoin valuation of it, and then when you sell it, you get the price of whatever it is at that point, which then you turn back into BTC. So you're still getting the price valuations, but you're not physically owning the tokens. Some people, that's a huge drawback. For me, it's a little bit, yeah. But it's not something that would totally divert me away from using this platform. It's not enough to cause me to be like, fuck this place. So we'll see what happens with it, but it's really interesting stuff. And like I said, it's huge for Litecoin in a lot of ways. If this thing really takes off, then God knows how far Litecoin could go into the future, as price-wise. It could really, really jolt it up. Along with a bunch of other cool stuff that's coming up for Litecoin too. I mean, there's still 2 things that Charlie talked about that haven't been revealed yet. So we'll see what those are too as the year goes on. But the the interface is actually pretty cool. Like I said, the fees are ridiculously cheap compared to Coinbase. So if you're buying a lot, well, hell, you have no reason to use Coinbase anymore, because they will jack you on what you're purchasing. This place is cheap as hell. So that's a huge, for a lot of reasons, Coinbase is in trouble, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? What else? So let's talk about the markets right now. We're on a down tick. We've had another, you know, major retraction across the board. Everything's been red for a week almost. And what's going on? People are, there's a lot of negativity in the markets right now. People are kind of, just there's been not a whole lot to talk about that's positive. People are sick and tired of waking up every day and seeing their investments life drained from them. I'm one of them. I mean, it's a downtime. But the exciting part for me is when this stuff is going on, I buy the shit out of crypto. I buy the shit out of Litecoin, especially, because I know where it's going in the future. What's going on though right now? And it is my opinion that the billionaire boys are driving the markets down. They're back at it again with coordinated attacks of FUD by American corporations such as Twitter, Google, Facebook. Some reasons, and the SEC is going after people that they think are securities. They went after Genesis Mining last week. Genesis Mining is not a scam. My brother's in it. I looked into it heavily for him when the cease and desist order came in South Carolina. Genesis Mining is not a scam. It's a real facility. They got tons of GPU units mining. I mean, we're talking about hallways full of them. And the contracts are legitimate. It's just that the government wants their money. That's a security. They're getting no piece of this. Genesis Mining told them to go fuck themselves. They're out of Iceland. So, what the fuck are the feds gonna do? They're not much. It's definitely not a scam. This is not like a BitConnect scenario, an MLM or something. This is just miners' contracts, and they pay out based on, what you gave them initially as an investment to use to continue and further their corporate or their mining company. So it's all more FUD, left and right. It's a coordinated attack to drive the markets down because the billionaire boys and the $100 million boys, the few that are in these markets, I call them the killer whales. They want to drive the prices down so they can get your HODL'ers coins. It's basically like a gorilla walking up to a tree. You and me, your cousin, anyone you talk to at Christmas time, you got into cryptos, we're all strapped in the tree, and they're shaking the shit out of the tree. Certain people get scared, start losing coins out of their pockets or falling out of the tree and just giving them all away for very low prices. They're not getting my coins. They never have. They never will. I know that this game is all about patience, perseverance, and you have to have a set of steel nuts and to deal with all this volatility. And I know what these guys are doing. They are not getting, like I said, they're not getting my coins. Whenever they do this, it's an ample buying opportunity for me to increase the amount of Litecoin that I own. Every time they manipulate markets, drive them through the floor, I keep adding to my stack. I don't day trade. Sometimes I'll swing them, but I work a lot. I don't have time to sit there and do TA all day long and pick out the perfect times to get in and out. Sometimes if I have a little extra time, I'll play around and I'll do it. I won more than I lost on that, but it's not something that like I get up every morning and I'm like, oh God, I can't wait to swing trade today. That's just not who I am. But I do like to buy the dips. I don't chase green candles. I buy things on the dip and I add to my stacks. So I have quite a bit of Litecoin now. The billionaire boys would probably scoff at the amount of Litecoin that I have, but for me, it's a significant amount of money invested. And for me, it's a significant amount of coins that I own. And I'm really happy about it. I've been increasing my load, and I will continue to do so because it's just my personal opinion. I've been listening to some people that I respect in the community, some basically journalists financial journalists who've been covering this for certain websites that I enjoy reading. They're all talking, and I saw this months ago, but Goldman Sachs is opening up their crypto desk, come the middle of May, or was it the beginning of May? I think it's the middle of May. And what they're going to do is they're providing an avenue for huge endowments like charities, Yale, trust funds, hedge fund managers, big time money. We're talking about trillions as an overall group that are going to be now jumping into these markets via Goldman Sachs. And you also have like Coinbase with their investment vehicles, like multiple coin investment vehicles that have been rumored. I heard a lot that that's actually legit and that's going to be coming out. And you'll have a lot of people investing in that. Why? Because rich people understand that inflation's coming. Okay, and they always are looking. I think it's like 1% of the population in the United States owns like 92% of the money, folks. So that's like 99% of us with 8% of the money. You do the math. There's going to be a lot of money that is coming into crypto. Right now, you see governments creating their own coins, governments talking about legalizing and regulating cryptos. You're talking about governments who are actually backing certain entities like NEO in China as a launching pad for the ICOs that the Chinese want to structure and have be the entryway for cryptos as far as their country goes. These are being, every day we see a new article about a government somewhere, someplace that's talking about crypto and how it could benefit from it, or what it sees that it's going to use the blockchain. Like, cryptos aren't going away, folks. They're not going to zero. Cryptos are going to be going absolutely fucking insane over the next 2 to 5 years. Especially because we're just in the beginning of the adoption phase right now. Is there a lot of bullshit crypto out there and scams? Yeah, there sure is. I don't think many of them may live through the end of this year. They certainly won't through the end of next year. You're going to see the big, good, solid, strong platforms, techs, currencies like Litecoin. You're going to see all of those be the cream that rises to the top this year, but especially in 2019. And for those of us that got in on the right ones, or hopefully are getting in on the right ones, I don't want to sound arrogant here, you're going to benefit greatly. And we're talking about boatloads of money that we can make. And all the while, our ultimate goal should be to try to keep these things as decentralized as possible, but you're not going to be able to see these things go where we want them to go, at least price wise, without certain financial situations or constructs being in place for people with all the actual fiat out in the world to get into these markets. Without some protection against their assets, they're just not going to join the highly volatile roller coaster ride with massive market manipulators. They're not going to do that. Really rich people without protection against it, at least to a certain degree. And so there are certain things that are going to have to happen in order for that, and they're coming. And I think it's going to be this summer. So, I don't have a crystal ball. I am not psychic. I don't have a Ouija board that I play with each night trying to find out the price of crypto in June. Like, I don't, all I know is that these things are going to skyrocket at some point. And until that point happens, I will continue to add to my stack, because to me, this is far more logical than putting my money in a checking or savings account, where I don't even cover the cost of inflation. I don't even get paid what inflation is. I actually lose money with it sitting in there. I also, a lot of people call crypto a bubble, and I just die laughing, because, the student debt bubble, real estate bubble again, stock markets. You want to talk about massive fiat bubbles? Look no further than those. Cryptos are 280 billion right now. That's like less than 1% of the world. It's way less than 1% of the world's GDP overall. And you're calling that a bubble? I don't think so. That does not compute. So I'm not afraid of that at all. Not at this point. Will it be a bubble in the future? Yeah, probably. But I'll make a decision as the time goes on, based on a variety of different factors, when I want to get out. When the stock market crashes, which it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When those things, all those stocks go and there's blood in the streets and Wall Street, I'll go in then and I'll buy those stocks. I'm not buying them now. I don't know part of the U.S. stock market at current, in its current standing. So So yeah, that's why I use cryptos, and that's why I keep adding to my stack, because I know Litecoin is going to go to the moon eventually with all-time highs. I don't know who gives a shit about price predictions. It's going to be all-time highs. It'll be at some point this year, and I am going to be very happy with myself when that occurs. Now, I am not a financial advisor, okay? This video and all of my videos are done for entertainment purposes alone. I just try to help people on here in discussing a lot of the different things that go on in these markets, and a lot of the, a lot of people are still new coming into this. So hopefully that these videos help you, or at least, some guy said that I was a shill for Litecoin the other day. No, I'm not a shill, but I guess I consider myself a cheerleader because I love it. I love Charlie Lee. I've talked about it in my other videos. It's my favorite crypto. This is my damn show, dude. I'm gonna talk about whatever I want to talk about. I'm not getting paid for this. So I like Litecoin. I've talked many times about my concerns. I talked about my concerns for the ABRA platform today. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but we all got to take risks. We assume risk based on our own homework, our own research. I've done a lot of research on a lot of different cryptos, and I like quite a few, and I own some others, but my portfolio is massively loaded on LTC, and there's legitimate reasons why I did that. It's not a roll of the dice. This isn't just me flipping a quarter and going heads or tails. It's, in my personal opinion, which doesn't mean shit, but in my personal opinion, I think Litecoin is going to be a monster in the future, which is why I will continue to do videos on this and update a lot of my subscribers who are also huge Litecoin fans. I don't blow smoke up their asses, and I don't tell them that everything's going to be hunky-dory. This is extremely volatile. We have huge roller coaster rides. But if you look at, past charts and what these markets have done, higher highs, lower lows. And that could change at some time. It could, for sure. Without question. One day it will. But we're just in the beginning of adoption right now, folks. Corporations, financial sectors, governments are just in the beginning of adopting these things. So basically that tells me that we have only seen just the beginning of how high these things are going to go, which is why I'm willing to invest so much money into it. But anyways, yeah, this video is about 22 minutes, and my dog is snoring she's sleeping with one eye open right now, like annoyed because the light is still on. So it's time for bed, and I love you guys. Please subscribe if you like this. If you want to see some of my future videos, if you like the content, mash that like button. It helps me get out my message, my video, to a lot of different people in the community. If you want to leave a comment, please do. I love to mix it up with you guys. I always try to on all my videos. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's one of the reasons why I do it. It entertains me. So that's it. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Again, I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you again sometime this week. We'll do another video when there's some more news, or if anything cool happens. I know one last thing before I go. Litecoin dropped to 140. I bought some more at 142. It went back up. It popped back to 154, and then right before I started this video, it was at 151. So I am going to be watching it over the next couple hours, and then if I don't like what I see on the charts, then I'll wait till the morning. But I'm going to be buying more, actually a lot more. So we'll see. But I like it where it's at right now. Are they done driving the price down? I don't know for sure, but from what I've seen in the last 10 hours on the charts, it looks like it's starting. That might bend the bottom. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not an expert TA, so definitely don't take my word on that. But this is fun. It's fun to look at and try to guess. More often than not, I'm usually right. But there's always that chance you could be wrong that time and get smoked. But I have a lot of fiat right now just waiting to get in, and I'm going to buy some more. So That's it, guys. Love you. I'll talk to y'all. Modern Gurus out. Peace out.